Hey folks, welcome back to Green Iron TV. So we're finishing up some of the work on the 57mm anti-tank gun, and now that we have it painted, back on its wheels, rolling and ready to go, one of the last things we want to do to this is we're going to add some markings. So cannons don't have from what bit of research I've been able to do, they didn't have a ton of markings, but we're going to go ahead and add a couple markings just because this is going to be a display piece, and just to help to give it some good looks. So we are going to add some stars to the upper shields. We are going to add the name of the American Legion post, which is Strong Wolf, down the barrel tube. We're going to add American Legion and the post number down the trailing arms. And I do have a special one that the guys at Delta Team Decals made up for me. So because this Legion post is the Strong Wolf Legion post, we came up with a Big Bad Wolf caricature, and we're going to paint that on the lower gun shield here. So that's what we're going to do on this episode of Green Iron TV. So I want to thank you guys for watching along, following this whole series on the 57mm anti-tank gun. It's been a great project, and I know the American Legion's really going to love getting this piece back and for their use. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started with it. But like always, I want to remind you guys, please give us a like, leave a comment, and then if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We are really close to the magic 1,000 number, and I'd really like to hit that sometime fairly soon. And of course, this is an organic channel. I don't pay for clicks or sponsorships or any of that type of stuff. So those subscribers that you see are actual real subscribers. So I want to thank those people that have been following along, and I want to thank you for following along. So let's get to it. Okay, so one of the things we're going to start with is the stars out here on the gun shield, and I'm going to want to kind of position this so where it's kind of in the middle of all this area. So that's the goal. And yes, we do have a heater running down here at the moment. It is a little bit chilly. Let's see if we can get this lined up today. It's not a bad looking spot. It's pretty well centered. So I'm going to go ahead and call that the spot we're going to use. And of course, I'm not too worried about the screw hole. And like I said, we are going to put the name of this Legion Hall down the barrel. Alright, you have to pick a good spot. I don't know if I want to be back here or about midway. I think I kind of like midway. I think I'm going to go about midway here. It can be a little hard to judge because there is a taper to the barrel. I'd say that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and alright, and let's go ahead and get the other side. Alright, and we're going to line this up just like we did the other side. Alright, see what markings are on the other side. Alright, and let's line the star up the same way. Alright, I'm going to go stand back. Make sure they look about level. Yep, I'd say that's close. Alright, I'll line up a couple of the other pieces. Okay, we've kind of laid out our length because we got this tie down loop there and the tie down loops back there, so we want to kind of be in between that. And there is the big weld seam here, so that will make it a little difficult, but we'll be able to manage. Of course, the nice thing for us is that weld seam is right down the middle, so that will give us some good way to get our spacing. Alright, that weld seam won't be too terribly bad. Alright, so we get the other piece laid. Alright, get that one lined up. I'd say that looks pretty straight. Let's see what we can do. All right. All right, we'll move around to the other side. All right, and our coup de grace, if you want to call it, our big bad wolf. And that's going to go probably about right in there. All right, because who's afraid of the big bad wolf? All right. All right, I kind of like that position. I have the name to go along the top edge. All right. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? All right. I wanted something kind of cartoonish in the font, so that it could look a little bit maybe like it was hand painted or so. All right, that gives a pretty cool look. And now we'll mask off and get ready to spray. And now we'll mask off the surroundings. Okay, now to paint. So I just use some just cheap old rare spray paint, nothing special. That's just what I kind of prefer to use. And the big thing is that we just want to give light coats. So we're just going to kind of give this first just a little bit of a dusting. So we want to give that just a little dusting and then let that set up, and then we'll go back, we'll give a second and a third coat. So that's how we do, or at least that's how I do paint mess. And of course, we know this one's going to be difficult because of this weld line. So right before we start to paint, we just want to make sure everything at that weld line is pushed down real good, so we don't get any seepage. And I know no matter how well I do this, I still am going to get a little seepage around this weld line. That's just the way it is. But we can always go back and do a little touch up with the green paint afterwards. So like I said, we just want to make sure everything is down as good as we can. And we want to make sure we spray this very straight on. And now just a little bit heavier of a coat. Okay, another easy coat. Okay, and one last round. All right, that should take care of all 3 final coats. Now, I like to peel my mask while the paint is not fully dried, but kind of dried to the touch, but not cured. And of course, what we want to do, get a hold of a corner if we can. We want to come down on an extreme angle back across itself. And just like that, look. And we got a rip in it, which it happens. So that's something that we'll have to touch up. But not too bad. We can, that'll be quick and easy to touch up. Let's do the wolf here. Same thing, we're going to start on a corner and work slowly at it. And I think one of my problems is the fact that it is cold out here. So and I'm going to wait a little bit longer, see if that'll firm up a little more. Like I said, it is cold in the garage. You know, we've gotten into fall here. So before I make a bigger mess than what I got going on, let's let that try and seat up a little more and see if that can get a little bit better bite. All right. So we gave this a little bit longer to dry, and let's see what kind of difference that makes, huh? Yep, we're peeling a little bit better now. A lot of this is just the fact that, you know, it's cold weather here. And, you know, the metal's a little cold, the paint's a little cold. So these couple little spots there, they won't be too big of a deal. We'll go back in with a little paintbrush and touch those up. And that'll make that all look good. All right. Well, let's attempt this tricky one. All right, that feels much better. All right. Now let's see what we can do with the big bad wolf here. Yeah, let's get the knife. Let's finish those last little ones with the knife. Actually, which work good, we'll be able to pick. All right. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? There's a little bit of a close-up so that you can see how the big bad wolf turned out. Okay, now we'll peel this side. Yep, one little bad spot there. That'd be easy to touch, so. It's definitely an art form doing paint masks. You know, and there's definitely finding the sweet spot in the paint when it's time to pull the paint. You know, you don't want it too wet because then it's messy. You don't want it too dry because then it wants to flake. And so it's finding that sweet spot in the paint to be able to pull. Okay, now the difficult one because of this weld line. Let's see what kind of mess this made. Hey, not too bad. Well, those turned out pretty decent. Okay, here's how we're going to fix our couple little small rips tears. Places where it flaked, so we're just going to use the spray paint. And I just like to be cheap. And I'll just spray a little bit of it into the cap. And then we're just going to take our little small brush Do just a little bit of touch-up. We'll let that dry up just a touch. We'll let that dry a touch, and then we'll put a little extra piece on it. You know, put another little coat in there. Keep dabbing it in, and that'll blend right in. You won't see it. So we're going to do the same thing here on this one. All right, we're going to call that one pretty decent. And the final touch, we filled in the brass plate with some black paint, buffed it off a little, and then hit it with some clear coat. Give this a nice clean look. Well, folks, that's going to wrap up this edition of Green Iron TV. As we got the paint mask markings all on the vehicle, on the cannon, and looking good. I do want to thank the guys at Delta Team Decals, and I will post a link for them. It's pretty simple, deltateamdecals.com. They provided us with all the paint masks, and they did do our special Big Bad Wolf. Like I said, this American Legion post is the Strong Wolf post, and so that's why we chose to add that on there. And we added, just like I said, some simple markings, the stars on the shields, the Strong Wolf, which is their name, down the barrel, and then we did add down the legs there, the American Legion and their post number. So all in all, turned out pretty good. Of course, like always when doing paint masks, there is 1,000 different variables into it. You know, everything from the temperature of the material you're painting, the paint surface, you know, how long you let the paint dry. So as you can see, you know, I did get a little antsy and I did peel a little early on a couple pieces, you know, and it put a couple rips into the paint, where we then, you know, stopped, waited a little bit, came back and finished doing it. Luckily, when you do stuff like that, it can be easy to fix. Like I showed, I just take a little bit of the spray paint, spray it in the cup of, or the cap of the spray paint, use a small brush, couple little dabs, finish out, clean it all up and look good. And of course, one of the things you want to remember when you know, doing a stenciled look, you know, paint mask, is that even when they were done in the military back in the day, they were never perfect to start with. So you know, a little imperfection in it is just fine. So all in all, turned out great. We're gonna get this 57mm anti-tank gun, you know, outside. Take some good pictures outside, and then I know this video will probably come out after Veterans Day, but we are planning on, which is what I was rushing to get done, is we are going to take this cannon in the Veterans Day Parade, along with my buddy Cal, who did the exact matching cannon. And we're going to have those in the parade, and then we'll get them back out to the American Legion Hall, where they can go back on static display out there. And we're putting them in a new area, and we're going to put them up on some jack stands so that you know, it takes the pressure off the tires. And we're going to do some stuff like that to help preserve these. You know, the whole objective of this restoration was to be able to preserve these for the American Legion, so that they didn't just rot into the ground. And, you know, I like to think we've done a pretty good job of doing that and making sure that, you know, hopefully this thing will last another 80 years outside. So long after I'll be gone. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching along as always. So as usual, please give us a like, leave a comment down below. I read all the comments. I try and respond to most all the comments. And of course, hit that like or hit that subscribe button. We are getting close to the magic 1,000 subscribers. And it would be really neat to hit that. And we are, you know, we're pretty thankful for what goes on this channel. Like I've said before, this is a one-man show. This is me in my garage working on military vehicles. And I do want to thank everybody that has taken the time to watch these videos and to follow along. So thank you guys, and you guys have a great day.